Why is it that the Ministry of Works wait until the opening of the new school year to begin patching and paving the road? Roads are very frustrating for motorists. Listen, thank you all so much. Tune in tomorrow. The guys are back, and everybody asks for part 2 of this topic, and that is what makes a woman high value and when a man loves a woman. That's happening tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in today on all of the social media networks, for calling in, for your messages, all this stuff. Thank you very much. Stay close. The news at 6 is straight ahead.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not a reflection of the Bahamas Radio Network and, as an extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station. He served his country with a long record of distinction as a member of the judiciary. Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs will be remembered for upholding the rule of law, for a firm sense of justice, and for his many stellar contributions in the judicial arena. This Friday, a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice Isaacs at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Join the ZNS Network for live coverage beginning at 9 a.m. as the country pays its final tribute to this judicial giant. You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, paying tribute. The body of the Chief Justice lies in state in the Supreme Court. Job opportunities available. The Minister of Labor encouraging Bahamians to take advantage of employment opportunities nationwide. And Drill Day. Schools across New Providence ensuring they are ready to move in the event of an emergency.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
The Bahamas prepares to bid farewell to the Chief Justice. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. Thanks for making us a part of your Thursday. The Governor General, acting Prime Minister, and Leader of the Opposition joined the Isaacs family and members of the judiciary today to view the body of Chief Justice, the late Stephen Isaacs, in the Supreme Court on Bank Lane. His learned colleagues, acting Chief Justice Vera Watkins, former Chief Justices Sir Michael Barnett and Sir Hartman Longley, and several Supreme Court judges, as well as the Speaker of the House of Assembly, the Honorable Halston Moultrie, were among those viewing the body. Attorney Calvin Seymour says he will cherish the knowledge he gained from the late Chief Justice.
My personal account goes further back than being a counsel. I was a police prosecutor when I first encountered Justice Isaacs, who was then in defense work. I have the benefit of working with him from two sides, as a Crown counsel and as a defense counsel. Once you've dealt with him once, you know where he stands on anything as it comes to the law. His position was clear. You had to like him.
Members of the legal fraternity, along with family and friends, assembled at St. Matthew's Anglican Church last night to celebrate the life and legacy of Chief Justice, the late Stephen Isaacs. Along with musical selections, friends and colleagues paid respects to the deceased, who died just 2 weeks after being elevated to the Chief Justice post. Attorney Fred Smith QC said it is a tragedy the legal field lost someone with such vast knowledge and judicial experience so soon after being appointed Chief Justice.
Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs was, over the decades, a judge that contributed greatly to what is a bastion of our democracy in the Bahamas. And that is that for decades after decades after decades, the judges of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal and the Privy Council have really been very independent in helping to develop our nascent democracy. Our former Chief Justice was staunchly independent. However, he was keenly aware that in his role as a judge, he still had to be balanced and deliberate at the same time.
Through tributes, family and colleagues painted the picture of a man who was steady, focused, and kind, but firm. While the Chief Justice made his mark on the world, Reverend Father Roderick Bain urged others to do the same.
I want you to be more conscious of how it is that you will make a difference, of how it is that you will be more conscious, and of how it is that you will love more. As we look at our lives now and look at what we're doing with the late Justice, perhaps the psalmist would put us in the right frame of mind. Our days are like grass. You flourish. You grow. When the wind passes over it, it is gone.
And for those of you living here in the Providence, we have some road closures to tell you about that will facilitate tomorrow's state funeral. Bank Lane was closed since 6 o'clock this morning, and as of 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, road closures will take place on Bay Street between East Street and Navy Line Road, Parliament Street between Shirley and Charlotte Streets and Woods Rogers Wharf, Frederick Street, Market Street between Bay, Princess and Duke Streets, George Street between Bay and Duke Streets, and King Street between Cumberland and Market Streets. Parking will also not be allowed on any of these streets until after the funeral service. Traffic will be diverted north along Navy Line Road to Woods Rogers Wharf, east on Woods Rogers Wharf to East Street, south on East Street to Bay Street, continuing east on Bay Street. Now to news from Labor. Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, strongly encouraging Bahamians to take full advantage of employment opportunities that are currently available to them. Minister Fowlkes says a number of Bahamians have been hired for key positions since the recent Labor on the Blocks initiatives here in the capital and over in Freeport, Grand Bahama. And on Tuesday, Minister Fowlkes revealed that the department has seen a decrease in the number of applications for labor certificates.
There has been a decline in terms of application for labor certificates. And I think that more and more Bahamians are feeling more optimistic about the job environment. As you know, this is probably the best year we've had in tourism for a very long time. All of the hotels are reporting, if not full occupancy, almost near full occupancy. So in terms of the employment environment in the country, it is very, very positive now. And I would encourage Bahamians to go out and seek jobs. They are out there.
Still ahead, students across the capital participating in a drill today. Find out why when First to Six returns on the next side of the break.
When school ends, VTC summerfication begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
I flying overseas and when she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no cute like a Bob Marley.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summerfication for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more.
Okay.
BTC, the bigger, better network.
Get ready. Commonwealth Bank wants to make this your best summer ever. Get the loan you need at a special discount this summer only. Cash for your best vacation, best laughs, best memories. And want to know the best part? You could win a trip for 4. So don't wait. The discount ends soon. Talk to us today about your best summer ever loan. Approval is fast and easy. Conditions apply.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Motorists here in New Providence had to endure a wet start this morning to their commute, making it even more challenging. Police Traffic Division Corporal Decory Barr says under these conditions, it is even more important for motorists to exercise extreme caution when driving.
we're going to ask that you exercise even more patience, drive with more consideration for other road users. If the weather is affecting your view, or you feel that it's a bit dark, turn on your headlights. Try not to drive with your hazard lights on. It would cause other road users not to know if you're going to turn or which direction you're going to turn. And that could be tragic. It can cause an accident. So we'd ask that you just turn on your headlights, drive instead of a one vehicle pace or space between you. Maybe you'd want to drive a vehicle and a half space in between, just to compensate for the wet roads.
Corporal Barr says Mother Nature often lends to what he calls creative driving. He outlines what that entails.
Some persons are already taking it upon themselves to come up the middle of the street, and in this kind of condition, that's a no-no. Still dark, very dark out. Like I said, the weather, the rain is going to cause you not to be able to see as good as you would normally on a clearer day. Persons are going to be blocking the intersections, and we just ask again that you exercise patience and consideration for other road users.
Most schools here in New Providence participated in a National Fire Drill Day today. It's an exercise designed to ensure that all who are on the campus during school hours are safe and know what to do in the case of an emergency. We visited the drill at Columbus Primary on Collins Avenue. Principal Jacqueline Sands says her priority is the safety of her 656 students and 44 staff members.
This morning, our staff and students were able to evacuate our school in 2.5 minutes. And so if there was an actual emergency, all staff members and students would have evacuated safely away from the emergency and the fire. We ensure that they walked on the lines quickly, no running, so that there will be no bottleneck or anyone trampling in the event there was a fire. And so the teachers executed the job excellently this morning, and so we were able to move under the record time of 3 minutes.
The drill is one of the initiatives that the Safety and Disaster Risk Reduction Unit is responsible for. With campus safety of paramount importance, member Dwayne Higgins says the premise behind the unit is to put systems in place that could minimize or eliminate injury or damage to property should an emergency arise.
The intent is for there to be two fire drills, one in the first term, which everyone would do, and basically they would preset a time so that we're able to send observers out and, just check to see what went well, what didn't go so well, and make recommendations accordingly. The next one is a spontaneous visit where an emergency happens. So during the regular course of the day, the expectation is that in the event of an emergency, the system is already in place, and all it is a matter of persons mobilizing to the evacuation areas, that the students and staff and whomever is on the campus, that they're all well taken care of.
Providing tablets to improve the academic skills of primary students transitioning to high school is now becoming a reality for students in Exuma as well as Ragged Island. It's the brainchild of founder of the Bahamas Education Project, Bill Sanford. He started the program 3 years ago and has been working along with Ministry of Education officials and the Exuma Foundation. Officials recently donated more than $31,000 from the Sandals Foundation to provide Google Chromebooks to students. There are more than 300 students in the district, and roughly 275 Google Chromebooks have been purchased.
Putting computers into the primary schools here with a mission of improving the academic skills of the primary students so they'd be better prepared for high school. And we have moved along. Last year we had approximately half of the primary students involved with the program. And this year, thanks to Sandals Foundation, who has made a nice contribution to us, we are able to include all of the grade 1 through grade 6 primary school students. So the program has grown quite a bit over the last 2 or 3 years. Now the focus of the program, now that we have the equipment in place, is to train and support the teachers. And so as we move forward this year and next, that's going to be the primary focus of what we're trying to do.
Sandals Emerald Bay's General Manager Jeremy Mudhin says the donation of more than $31,000 to the project was the largest donation ever made by the foundation.
The whole Chrome exercise is so valuable and so important. Not something I'd necessarily heard of, but certainly the teachers that visit from the US and, you know, they're using it a lot these days. So it really is a huge contribution. It's meant that we've got over 200 additional Chromebooks that we wouldn't have expected. And, you know, education is key. It's all about educating the children for tomorrow. So it was a great opportunity to do so and partner with the Exuma Foundation and Bill Sanford.
Now the news from our #1 industry. The Bahamas garnered massive exposure this past weekend in the U.S. at a Ministry of Tourism and Aviation-sponsored party in the backyard at the pool of the Gaylord Palms Resort in Orlando, Florida, which is a part of tourism's sponsorship of the All-State Tom Joyner Family Reunion Expo and Convention. The sound of Junkanoo filled the air of the event, capturing the attention of hundreds of African Americans. Members of tourism's Florida marketing and communications team distributed T-shirts, cowbells, and whistles to everyone. Patrons were also encouraged to sign up to win tickets to the Bahamas from Florida, courtesy of Bahamas Air, or a cruise to Grand Bahama. The All-State Tom Joyner Family Reunion is in its 15th year and was created to be a fun, educational, and entertaining weekend for African American families. Well, that's a look at national news first at 6. Stay with us. Jonathan Benson is next with sports.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
Summer is here, and it's the time of year we love getting together with family and friends. And nothing shows your love more than one of KFC's new buckets. KFC's Bucket Love is all about our freshly prepared chicken, delicious sides, and hot buttery biscuits, starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger licking good.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
He served his country with a long record of distinction as a member of the judiciary. Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs will be remembered for upholding the rule of law, for a firm sense of justice, and for his many stellar contributions in the judicial arena. This Friday, a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice Isaacs at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Join the ZNS Network for live coverage beginning at 9 a.m. as the country pays its final tribute to this judicial giant.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th, when a hurricane alert is issued for your area, which indicates the possibility that you could experience hurricane conditions within 60 hours. You should begin the initial stages of preparation for the storm. When the storm is 48 hours away, a hurricane watch is issued. Once a watch is issued, be sure to get updates from the Met Office via television and radio. Get your battery-powered radio ready. Keep your emergency supply kit, blankets, and sleeping bags handy, and your children and pets indoors. Be sure you have extra cash and that your car has a full tank of gas. Fill all prescriptions. A hurricane warning means that a storm with winds of 74 miles per hour or more is 36 hours away. At this point, secure all windows with shutters and plywood. Place your valuables and records in waterproof containers and store them on the highest floor of your home or in the safest area. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome Welcome to sports, everybody. Surprise, surprise. Rain once again affecting the Providence Softball Association's best-of-5 first-round playoffs last night. The Johnson Truckers were leading the Proper Care Pool Sharks 7-2 in the third inning when the heavens opened, forcing officials to call off play with the game not yet official. Now they will try and get Game 2 in again tonight with the Sharks up 1-0 in the series. Game 2 between the CNS Hitmen and Chances Mighty Mitts has yet to be played either. That game also scheduled for tonight, the Mighty Mitts trying to even up the series. Postseason action getting underway last night on the minor league baseball diamond. Jazz Rado Chisholm going 1 for 5. A run scored, helping Visalia to a 5-3 Game 1 win over Stockton in the California League's best-of-5 North Division Championship Series. Game 2 there is set for tonight. Chavez Young going 0 for 4 as Lansing lost in 10 innings to Bowling Green 4-3. That was in the Midwest League's best-of-3 Eastern Division semifinals. Game 2 there also tonight, and it's a must-win for Young and Lansing. Lucius Fox also finishing up 0 for 4 last night as Montgomery lost on a walk-off 4-3 to Jackson. That was in Game 1 of the Southern League's best-of-5 North Division Series. They will try and even things up tonight in Game 2. As for Christian Robinson and Missoula, they're still in regular season play. Robinson going 2 for 4 last night, an RBI and 2 runs scored in a 7-2 win over Helena. Missoula closes out regular season play tonight, and they will miss out on the playoffs. 2 days to go to the IAAF's Continental Cup in the Czech Republic, where just 2 Bahamians will be a part of the Americas team. Shawnee Miller-Weibo will compete in the 200 and 4x1, while Donald Thomas contests the high jump. Other regions taking part include Africa, Asia Pacific, and Europe. The Bahamas Government Departmental Basketball Association, they picked back up with action last night after a break due to renovations at the AF Adelaide Gym. The Panthers staying perfect. They improved to 10-0, a 96-86 win over the Airport Authority Avengers. In the nightcap, the Defense Force Marines, they also picked up a win. They got by the Police Crime Stoppers, a final there of 86-82. Sharing the general store and Coach Donnie Culmer joining up with Inspector Jermaine Adderley in the Big Yard last weekend for the Central Andros Back to School Clinic and Jamboree. They made their way to the courts in Bering Point, Stanier Creek, and Fresh Street for 3 days full of instruction, which also encompassed that is the settlements of Cargill Creek, Boeing Sound, Blanket Sound, Small Hope, Calabash Bay, and Love Hill. And that is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
First memory of music would have been a performance when everyone was singing the song. The song was drop down and come up slow, and everyone in the crowd was singing. I was amazed. I was in shock.
I did not always want to be a performer. You know, I actually wanted to be a doctor. And when I was on my way to med school, I had this whole epiphany, and I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's when I made the switch.
If I weren't singing, I'd be singing. I love track and field.
Many different things inspire me. You know, it isn't anything specific. It's just, you know, just enjoying the environment. And that's what I think music should be about, being free.
You know, tap of a button, I'm able to get in contact with persons all the way across the world. Technology acts as that bridge that keeps me connected.
BTC in one word, I would have to say clutch.
Connected with family.
Family.
Every day. He served his country with a long record of distinction as a member of the judiciary. Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs will be remembered for upholding the rule of law, for a firm sense of justice, and for his many stellar contributions in the judicial arena. This Friday, a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice Isaacs at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Join the ZNS Network for live coverage beginning at 9 a.m. as the country pays its final tribute to this judicial giant.
You know I'm counting on it. Stay with me, let it keep on coming. You and I need to hold on to. Yeah, 'cause the world is in a constant motion. Stay with me through the strange emotion. You and I, we will make it through.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance, or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 911 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
In news from the region, a new Haitian government was unveiled Wednesday night, 2 months after the Prime Minister resigned over deadly riots triggered by planned fuel price hikes. The new Prime Minister appointed by President Jovenel Moïse is Jean-Henri Siant, a notary who ran unsuccessfully for president in 2010 and 2016. 6 members of the Haitian cabinet retained their jobs from the previous cabinet. Jamaica's Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, says the island experienced record-breaking stopover arrivals from May to August this year, with provisional estimates showing stopover arrivals up by 6% over the same period last year. Minister Bartlett told the media that Jamaica hosted 884,324 visitors compared to the 292,000 visitors from May to August last year. This year, Jamaican tourism officials say the island welcomed 2.9 million visitors so far for the year. And St. Lucian Customs and Excise officers have begun a 2-day sick-out in protest over government's plans to merge a number of government departments into the proposed St. Lucia Border Management Authority. Customs officers in St. Lucia fear that a number of them will lose their jobs if the statutory body is established, despite government's assurances that they will not.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, we are experiencing a very busy September in the Atlantic. We have Hurricane Florence, which has lost some strength overnight. It's now a Category 1 hurricane, packing winds of 80 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at 10 miles per hour. But we expect some fluctuation in intensity over the next couple of days. And then further east in the Atlantic, we have this strong tropical wave several hundred miles to the southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. And this, too, has about an 80 to 90% chance of development over the next couple of days, and there's yet another strong tropical wave coming off the African coast with about a 50% chance of development. So we'll keep our eyes on these systems over the next several days. So if you have not yet completed your seasonal precaution, this is a good time to make sure that they are in place. Closer to home, mid to upper level trough keeping things pretty much unstable around the island, so you will continue to experience pockets of showers and thunderstorms tonight right into tomorrow. Outside of our studios, we have cloudy skies, temperatures 79 degrees here, relative humidity at 78%, south winds at 6 miles per hour, barometric pressure 1,014.3 millibars. That is 29.98 inches, and it is falling. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks so much, Basil. That does it for First at 6. It's time now for a check on stories making news around the Northern Bahamas.
Three's largest telecommunications provider hit by copper thieves. The Democratic National Alliance on Grand Bahama. And a local doctor giving the warning signs of a prevalent ailment in Bahamian men.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topic news this evening, BTC services in the Sunrise community crippled after copper thieves hit a cell site in the area. The disruption causing a major inconvenience, and now the search is on for those persons who are responsible. Copper thieves targeting BTC 4 times in the space of some 2 weeks. The bandits getting away with tens of thousands of dollars worth of copper, leaving a trail of destruction behind in the form of disadvantaged customers. Vice President of BTC Northern Bahamas, Trevor Turnquest.
4 deliberate acts of sabotage over the past 2 weeks, and especially in the Sunrise Park subdivision. Persons are taking it's big, thick copper cables. 600 pair of cables, so it carries a hefty value. So persons are using it to probably melt it down and sell it for copper. Every time this is taken down, we have to utilize resources over probably 2 days just to put the cable back up and connect everyone back in service.
The latest incident taking place during the wee hours of Thursday morning. The BP says hundreds of customers have been inconvenienced as a result.
The interruption in service to our customers is paramount to us. It's bringing down approximately 600 plus customers. Those customers who are now inconvenienced because they don't have telephone service, which is essential service. They don't have internet. And persons with our IPTV product, they are also out of service.
He says resolving the issue for customers could take up to a day and a half. In times past, BTC has been the target of copper thieves. However, as of late, it appeared as though there was a decline on copper theft.
As of late, it appears that it's starting to rise again. And that's one of the main reasons why we want to bring attention to this, so that the community knows that something is happening and they can keep their eyes open. When acts of this nature occur, it affects everybody. We have to expend money to bring it back up. There's a strain on our staff having to do the same thing over and over when they could be supporting new customers or repairing services that, customers who are out of service.
BTC officials say they are now working with police officials to bring this matter to a close.
BTC is very concerned about this, and persons responsible, be assured that we will find who you are through the use of local police, and you will be brought to justice.
Now, BTC is offering a reward for the arrest and conviction of the suspects involved in these matters. Shashina Roll-Farquharson, ZNS Network News. In other news, the Grand Bahama Taxi Union has a new leader, Harold Curry, beating out incumbent David Jones for the top position during elections yesterday. Incumbent Rodney Forbes Jr. held on to the post of vice president, while Zedrick Blackett-Saunders captured the second vice president post. Joyce Thomas is the new Secretary General. Assistant Secretary Shirley Hall was unopposed. Edric Russell remains treasurer for the union, and the assistant treasurer is Mako Bryce. The union now has 3 new trustees, Carla Rose, Talon Delancey, and Wayne Roll. The 7 committee members are Lakeisha Roll, Cardison Andrews, Tanisha Grant, Raul Francis, Davon Pettikin, Willis Outen, and Leanzo Fritz. Transportation Chairman is Clement Pender, and Assistant Transportation Chairman Ernie Roll. Now, there are 179 members who were eligible to vote in yesterday's election. Switching gears now, the Democratic National Alliance on Grand Bahama over the weekend, meeting with supporters and hosting an election of officers for various positions within the political party. Tonight, the deputy leader says that they are hitting the ground early in preparation for the 2022 general election.
We wanted to be able to get our alliances up and running.
Deputy leader of the Democratic National Alliance, Orinthia Komalafi, says that they have had an opportunity to speak with many Grand Bahamians about the current economic state of this island. She says many have expressed disappointment over both the Progressive Liberal Party and the Free National Movement government over the past few years. Komalafi adds that there has been little to no improvement of this island since the FNM came into power just over a year ago.
What we have is these pie-in-the-sky promises that are made by the various institutions of the PLP and the FNM, and the Grand Bahamian people continue to be disappointed by that. And of course, we're hearing an even louder cry in that regard, that the Grand Bahamians are very disappointed that it appears as though, which we in the DNA always knew because we spoke about this on the campaign trail, on the campaign trail, that the Free National Movement does not have a plan for Grand Bahama. In fact, they don't have a plan for the entire chain of islands throughout the archipelago of the Bahamas.
The DNA entered the political arena in 2010 following the departure of Mr. Branville McCartney from the FNM. The party contested all 38 seats in the 2012 general election, capturing around 8.5% of the national vote, which at the time many considered the reason for the FNM's defeat. But in 2017, the DNA's impact was significantly less.
We had some challenges in the 2017 general election. A lot of that we lay at the feet of the governance of the previous administration. One of the things we got on the ground a lot was the fact that voters were afraid, in their words, these are the words that were communicated to us, they were afraid to vote for the Democratic National Alliance for fear of the Progressive Liberal Party coming back to office. And that, at the time, we knew that that was a serious narrative on the ground, but we did not know how severe it would have been to our chances until after the general elections. So what we're trying to do now to counter things, because we believe we had the best plan, and in fact, we were the only ones who were really talking from a plan. We sought to raise the standard as it relates to general elections. We were not back and forward as the PLP were back and forward with one another. We were actually speaking specifically to each area of our plan and our manifesto.
But she says their approach for 2022 will be quite different.
What we are seeking to do from this early stage is to take our platform and to break it down into layman's terms so that the Bahamian people understand what you're going to get when you vote in a DNA government. You know, we're not just talking fluff. We actually have a plan, and we're speaking to that plan. Of course, we're constantly reminding the Bahamian people that we've been on this wine press for too long now. We've been treading back and forth between the PLP and the FNM, and we're presenting ourselves as a viable option for government in 2022.
Kamalafi shares a part of their plan for Grand Bahama.
We would be looking at improving the ease of doing business. We would also have to look at the ownership structure of the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement and to see the challenges that are faced there. We know that it's costly, quite costly to operate in Freeport, and obviously that's an issue, particularly when you are in a challenging economy. And so those are things that we were looking at, and also not just focusing development around Freeport, but looking also at East End and West End.
In other news, another Grand Bahama family investing in the local economy. This venture is viewed as expression of hope and an alternative for the natives to dine. Ramiko Knowles has more.
Cocktails on the Bay is the name of the newly opened restaurant on Grand Bahama located at the Running Mon Marina. Minister of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, commending the owners for taking on this venture and investing in the Grand Bahamian economy.
Sometimes the answer is not outside. Sometimes the answer is looking on the inside with what we have and doing the best we can with what we have. And so this is really going to be a wonderful place. It's good to be at the Running Mon Marina. This is a beautiful location. We are encouraging all Grand Bahamians and all Bahamians to come and take a look at cocktails on the bay.
Natives on hand for the opening of the restaurant could be seen enjoying the food and music from the live band. The Minister of State says that Grand Bahama was once known as the entertainment capital. He says an agreement was made to meet with all local club owners and entertainers to converse about reviving the entertainment industry. And he's pleased that the Caperons answered the call.
How many of you have always wanted to have a place that you could go to, that you could just relax and listen to live, good, old-fashioned Bahamian music? And so we again want to congratulate them for providing Grand Bahama with a good place to be.
Public relations person for Cocktails on the Bay, Yasmin Popescu, says that the restaurant is the third business venture on Grand Bahama for the owners, and it was designed to cater to a mature audience.
A lot of the places that are open at the moment seem to cater more to the younger crowd, and so more mature people have very few places that they can go to enjoy themselves. So with that in mind, the owners decided to look for and found this spot, which is absolutely beautiful, at the Running Mon Sunrise Marina Resort and Marina.
Now the restaurant will be available to host birthday parties, wedding receptions, and more. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
In news from the crime beat, a joint operation dubbed Operation Blackout, resulting in the seizure of firearm, ammunition, cash, and the arrest of 7 persons overnight. Reports are that between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. yesterday, a joint operation of officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit and Rapid Response Team executed a search at a residence in Freeport. Police say the officers seized a 9mm pistol with 36 rounds of ammunition, 49 packages of suspected cocaine, over $1,500 in cash, and 2 packages of suspected marijuana. Now, 5 males and 2 females were taken into custody. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
You name it, and Dolly's got it in the bag. That means they have it all. Gorgeous rooms to go furniture and accessories. Radio Shack electronics and musician supplies. Ace hardware and housewares. Whirlpool and GE appliances. Ace paint and supplies. The Garden Center. We have thousands of items to choose from to make your home run. And Dolly Madison is committed to providing you with quality name brand products at great everyday savings. Yes, Dolly Madison Home Center's got it in the bag.
It's back to school and back to school savings at Bellevue Business Depot. For all of your back to school and teacher supplies, they have it all at an extra 20% off retail price. Crayons, glue, markers, crayon pencils, backpack, character bags, meat notebooks, and teacher supplies for the classroom, and much, much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the backpack bundles for preschool, primary school, and high school, loaded with all the supplies you need for back to school. Teachers get your first 8-foot Butcher Fadeless paper free when you purchase a minimum of 10 feet, as well as additional discounts at the Coffee Center. All at Bellevue Business Depot, located on Queens Highway.
Everywhere you go, they'll just talk about box. Man, I need a break. You know what? I'm going to watch some of those Dolphins rerun. I love to watch the Dolphins get beat. Watching Marlon hit about 4 home runs on it.
It's amazing you mentioned home run, because here at Island Bedding, we have a Grand Slam special going on right now. All bases are loaded, up to $500 in savings on beds and bedroom sets. We're bringing it home to you, Dr. Love.
It's time to win at Island Bedding, the experts in comfort.
September is another month for a hurricane. Plan ahead with solar systems and lights. Solar Up Bahamas, giving you free power throughout the Bahamas. Call 727-4237.
Be sure to tune into the ZNS Television Network Sunday, September 9th at 2 p.m. for the airing of the farewell service for the Venerable Archdeacon Father Harry Bain. That's this Sunday, September 9th at 2 p.m. only on the ZNS Television Network. Stay informed on your local weather forecast this 2018 hurricane season. Your #1 news station, the ZNS Television Network. We've got you covered. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Cheryl Investments is once again reaching out to help the youth of Grand Bahama. The gaming giant making a big donation to several groups ahead of the new school term. Jay Philippe has the details.
Jarl Investment continues to gracefully support the community of Grand Bahama in so many ways. Karen Wilson from Jarl's Investment Marketing Team says the company takes pride in giving back to worthy organizations.
It's something that we normally do. Sometimes it's done undercover, but Mr. Kummer decided that he wants it to go public. Jarl Investments always donates to all organizations. The Children's Home, the Beacon School, there's so many that I can't even say.
Jarl Investment made a donation of $7,000 to the Grand Bahama Children's Home to help assist with their daily activities. Sheila Johnson-Smith, Executive Director of the Children's Home, was very grateful for the contribution.
Jarl Investments have been really good to the Children's Home. We are so grateful to Mr. and Mrs. Culmer for what they do for the home. As you can well imagine, it is not easy to operate a home such as the Grand Bahama Children's Home, where it costs us over $500,000 a year to remain open. So everything that we get goes towards keeping the doors open.
The organization also made another $7,000 contribution to the Grand Bahama Red Cross Center.
So elated again that Jarl Investments have called us for this donation to us. It is so timely that they have called because, you know, we are going now into, I would say, the drought season where, there's little in our pantry at this time. And we have so many that come to our doors, in addition to us feeding 55 persons every day.
Not to be left out, local kids from Pine Ridge community will receive backpacks with school supplies as they prepare for the 2018-2019 academic calendar year. Deputy Chief Counselor for Local Government Ernie Barr expressed his gratitude for the donation.
It is an excellent initiative that Chances Games has came on board as a corporate sponsor to give back to the community, because right now, honestly speaking, there's a rough time for everybody. Chances Games have put so much smiles on the faces of the parents, the children, the kids, and like I say, I couldn't have done this second annual Pine Ridge Back to School initiative without Chances.
Jarl Investment has been making some contributions to a number of charitable organizations on the island of Grand Bahama, especially in this difficult time of need. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Jay Philippe.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. I received the following question from a concerned dad. My son is 13 and still wets the bed. Will he outgrow this? Are there treatments for this? Thank you for your great question. The first thing to understand is that bedwetting is not an uncommon problem. Most kids will outgrow regular bedwetting by age 4. However, not all children are the same, and bedwetting for a small percentage of kids can last longer, even to age 12 and beyond. While this condition tends to affect boys more frequently than girls, it can be a problem for both sexes. It is important to remember that your child is not wetting his or her bed on purpose. He or she is not being lazy or disobedient. It is also important to remember that no matter how angry, helpless, frustrated, or embarrassed you feel as a parent, your child feels all those emotions as well, and perhaps more intensely. As a parent, reassure your son or daughter that he or she is normal and okay, and remind them that they will outgrow this problem. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
CrossFit Island 2 for 2 is the only certified CrossFit box in all of Freeport, Bahamas. It's one of the best workouts in the world and one of the largest workout movements across the globe.
Good. Pull it over your head more. Good.
CrossFit is a combination of 3 different disciplines, which is metabolic conditioning, which is like cardio, where we do running, we do jumping, then we do gymnastics, where you actually use your own body weight. So we do pull-ups, push-ups. We actually do weightlifting, where we do Olympic lifts or compound movement lifts. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're even on Snapchat. So it's 727-4348. And we also have a website too, CrossFitIsland242.com. And you can also email us at fun@CrossFitIsland242.com.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Freeport Jewelers in Port Lucaya. Fashion starts here.
Tired of the endless bank fees and long lines? The Grand Bahama Cooperative Credit Union is the solution to making your money work for you by providing you with free financial counseling, higher interest on savings plans, and lower interest rates on loans. Savings products such as Christmas and vacation club, fixed deposits, and annuity savings allow our members to prepare for today and tomorrow without all of the hassle. Join satisfied Bahamians who left their banking frustrations behind. Open an account with GBCCU 352-4139.
At Pizza Hut Freeport, you can enjoy 2 medium pizzas with any 2 toppings, any crust, any day. Order 2 medium pizzas your way for just $8.99 each. That inclusive. Pick your pairs and order today. 2 medium pizzas for $8.99 each at Pizza Hut Freeport. Call downtown at 352-9191 and East Sunrise Highway 373-8500. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Pizza Hut Freeport. Make it great.
KMW Battery and Tire Sales is offering oil change special for just $49.99 plus VAT. Includes oil and filter. KMW is located on West Settlers Way.
Welcome to Sports 360 with Jay Fleet. We have live in studio today.
It goes down to discipline, taking care of your body, knowing what you need to put into your body.
Well, I've got the national records in the 200, 400, 800 free. We've just got eyes on Tokyo 2020.
Hi, I'm Jay Fleet, and you can tune in every Monday at 12:30 p.m. talking sports.
Power 104.5 FM.
Welcome to another exciting edition of Sports. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Topping sports this evening, the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association in playoff action. Night 1 of the playoffs started out with a bang. The Coopers Destroyers going head-to-head against the Immigration Enforcers. Enforcers at the plate starting things off with a run on first. Cooper with the pitch, and it's driven to the left. Fielded by the left fielder, the throw to second, and runner is out. Second batter up now looks small but has a big swing. This one is out of here. Good swing by Smith. Enforcers back at bat. Cooper's playing for 2. There's the slow roll pitch, and it's driven to the shortstop for the easy out. Playing for 1 now. Enforcers back at the plate. Cooper releases. It's ground back to the mound. Easy out. Change of sides now. Cooper's has last at bat. The outfield comes in for the lady, and she makes them regret it as this one is over their heads for the double. Cooper Jr. at bat now. Scavella with the pitch. Fly ball to center field. This one is an easy out, but he misses. The throw now to second base, no good. Cooper comes around, and the run scores. Last at bat now, Quentin Cooper. Scavella with the pitch. It's driven to the shortstop. Get out of the way of this one. Another run scores. Cooper's Destroyers defeats the Immigration Enforcers 21-11. The Rising Star Youth Baseball and Softball Development League commencing its preseason training for the upcoming baseball season Saturday, September 8th at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex softball field from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. President of the Rising Stars League, Yvonne Lockhart, says they're ready to get the ball rolling.
Starting a bit early because we realized that with a lot of the new kids coming in, it's going to take a lot to teach them the basic fundamental. And And this season, we're going to really try to enforce the Learn to Play program, where through fun and games that are synonymous to the game of baseball and softball, we're going to implement.
The Rising Stars Youth Baseball League has been in existence for the past 5 years. Lockhart adds that this year, special emphasis will be placed on academics.
Not everybody's going to get a scholarship to go to college and play baseball or softball. But we realize that should an athlete do decide, one of the key things that most coaches ask for are their grades.
The league is scheduled to open February 2nd, 2019. And in the second co-ed game of the night, Pat's Uniform Reds edged out GBPA regulators 13-12. Your winning pitcher, Michael Sweeting, the losing pitcher, Stefano Bevins. The third and final game of the night, the men's Tenerife Luthans defeated Express 26-12. Your winning pitcher, Leon Cooper Sr., the losing pitcher, Jermaine Scavello. Playoff action continues Friday at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex softball field. And that's your check on sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, make it a great one.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Hi, I'm Wes. I like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
Business owners are excited about ZNS Northern Service Storm Central Hurricane packages because advertising rates are discounted up to 50%. That's right, get 50% off advertising packages this hurricane season from now through November 30th. Call our sales department at 351-3430 or 352-9713 and book your advertising package today.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance, or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 919 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message has been brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the National Emergency Management Agency.
This one goes out to grade 6 Minutes over there at Sunland Baptist Academy. Hope you kids are having a great one. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Arkeson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
He served his country with a long record of distinction as a member of the judiciary. Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs will be remembered for upholding the rule of law, for a firm sense of justice, and for his many stellar contributions in the judicial arena. This Friday, a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice Isaacs at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Join the ZNS Network for live coverage beginning at 9 a.m. as the country pays its final tribute to this judicial giant.
You know I'm counting on it.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance, or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 911 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the National Report, paying tribute. The body of the Chief Justice lies in state in the Supreme Court. More testimony. The Minister of Health returned to the witness stand today in a bribery and extortion trial. And cultivating character. Hear more about Character Day at Sandals Emerald Bay in Exuma. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts right now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by VTC every day.
The Bahamas prepares to bid farewell to the Chief Justice. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for making us a part of your Thursday evening. Today, the head of state and high-ranking political figures, as well as members of the judiciary, entered the Supreme Court complex on Bank Lane to view the body of Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs this morning. Isaacs passed away on August 24th, exactly 2 weeks after being sworn into the post. A state funeral for Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs will be held at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning at Christ Church Cathedral on George Street. Our coverage of the service will begin at 9 a.m. with a pre-show on the ZNS television and radio networks. The Chief Justice was remembered as a man who served with authority when it came to the principles of the legal profession here in the Bahamas. LaDawn Davis leads us off tonight with this report from the Supreme Court.
The late Honorable Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs is being described as a man who was devoted to his family, the legal profession, and the administration of justice in this country. Today, his family led the procession viewing the body. Head of State, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Margaret Pinling, Acting Prime Minister Peter Turnquest, former Prime Minister the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram, and Attorney General the Honorable Carl Bethel, among dignitaries viewing the body of the fallen Chief Justice in the chambers of the Supreme Court. His learned colleagues, the Acting Chief Justice Vera Watkins, former Chief Justice Sir Michael Barnett, and Sir Hartman Longley, and several Supreme Court judges, as well as the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Holson Moultrie, also among viewers. Attorney Calvin Seymour says he will cherish the knowledge gained from the late Chief Chief Justice.
My personal encounter goes further back than being a counsel. I was a police prosecutor when I first encountered Justice Isaacs, who was then in defense work. I have the benefit of working with him from two sides, as a Crown counsel and as a defense counsel. Once you've dealt with him once, you know where he stands on anything as it comes to the law. His position was clear. You had to like him.
Opposition leader Philip Brave Davis says the death of the former Chief Justice is a huge blow to the country's judiciary.
His life is truly illustrative of what it is about circumstances of life. We very often allow our circumstances to inhibit us and not allowing us to reach our full potential because we cower in the face of challenges. The life of Sir Stephen Isaacs speaks to overcoming challenges, speaks to the courage and the will to move oneself.
New officers of the police and defense forces were also preparing for Friday's state funeral of the late Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs, set for 11 a.m. at Christ Church Cathedral. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Members of the legal fraternity, along with family and friends, assembled at St. Matthew's Anglican Church to celebrate the life and legacy of the late Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs Wednesday evening, reflecting on the lasting impact he left on the legal profession, but also remembered the good times with Isaacs as a friend. Along with musical selections, friends and colleagues paid respects to the Chief Justice, who died just 2 weeks after being elevated to the top post. Attorney Fred Smith QC says it is a tragedy the legal field lost someone with such vast knowledge and judicial experience so soon after being appointed Chief Justice.
Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs was, over the decades, a judge that contributed greatly to what is a bastion of our democracy in the Bahamas. And that is that for decades after decades after decades, the judges of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal and the Privy Council have really been very independent in helping to develop our nascent democracy. Our former Chief Justice was staunchly independent. However, he was keenly aware that in his role as a judge, he still had to be balanced and deliberate at the same time.
Through tributes, family and colleagues painted the picture of a man who was steady, focused, kind, but firm. While the Chief Justice made his mark on the world, Anglican priest Father Roderick Bain urged others to do the same.
I want you to be more conscious of how it is that you will make a difference, of how it is that you will be more conscious, and of how it is that you will love more. As we look at our lives now and look at what we're doing with the late Justice, perhaps the psalmist would put us in the right frame of mind. Our days are like grass. We flourish. When the wind passes over it, it is gone.
Crossing over now to news from the courts, Minister of Health Dr. Dwayne Sands returned to the Supreme Court, providing evidence in the Frank Smith bribery and extortion trial today. The cabinet minister was questioned by prosecutor Queen's Counsel Edward Jenkins concerning the approval of a contract to Barbara Hanna of Magic Touch Cleaning Company for the Princess Margaret Hospital. DeAndre Williamson has this report.
It was revealed earlier that Dr. Sands approved a $1.8 million contract to Barbara Hanna of Magic Touch Cleaning Company for the critical care block at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Appearing before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt on Thursday, Dr. Sands testified that he met Hanna face-to-face in June 2017, but had a telephone conversation with her in November 2016. He also told lead prosecutor Edward Jenkins QC that Hanna donated $300 to his election campaign. During a telephone conversation in 2017, Dr. Sands said Hanna told him that she had a contract with the Public Hospitals Authority and was required to make cash payments of $5,000 per month to Frank Smith, who was at the time chairman of the Public Hospitals Authority. Dr. Sands says Hanna was concerned and asked him what could be done about it. He told her to contact the Minister of Health at that time, Dr. Perry Gomez. He also advised Hannah to contact police, but she didn't. Dr. Sands says Hannah continued to contact him with her complaint of paying $5,000 to Smith, but she did not report the matter to police because she said she was afraid. However, Dr. Sands says Hannah suggested that he refer her to the Minister of National Security, Marvin Dames, and provided him with her contact. While Dr. Sands says he was aware that Hannah wanted a contract, he had no input in the committee's recommendation for Magic Touch to be awarded the contract. Dr. Sands says he believes the process was transparent as Magic Touch was one of the lowest bidders. Another bidder, RL Elite, with a bid of $1.7 million was not selected. As Dr. Sands explained, the company was familiar with cleaning small businesses and the bid was increased. During cross-examination by Smith's attorney Keith Knight, QC, Sands revealed that one of Hannah's sons, Andy Hanna, was one of his campaign volunteers. Knight asked Dr. Sands if he was aware that Andy Hanna was Barbara Hanna's son before awarding the contract. Dr. Sands replied yes. In a statement by Dr. Sands, Knight pointed out where Dr. Sands told Hannah to tender and assured her that the process would be fair. Dr. Sands responded that his instructions to Hannah was with the view that she had already applied. However, Dr. Sands told the court that he finds it challenging to answer questions honestly because of the way Knight was asking them. The matter was adjourned until Saturday at 10 a.m. At that time, Dr. Sands is expected to receive further cross-examination. For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Still ahead, what a price to pay. We'll tell you why 3 Americans faced charges in the magistrate's court today. And children participated in a drill designed to save lives. That story and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, returns on the next side of the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell, fueling journeys that matter. Summer promotion.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is Commonwealth Bank. And no matter how, no matter where, no matter what, Commonwealth Bank is here for you. Commonwealth Bank. Everything we do it for you.
My first memory of music would have been a performance when everyone was singing the song. The song was drop down and come up slow, and everyone in the crowd was singing. I was amazed. I was in shock.
I did not always want to be a performer, you know. I actually wanted to be a doctor. And when I was on my way to med school, I had this whole epiphany, and I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's when I made the switch.
If I weren't singing, I'd be singing. I love track and field.
Many different things inspire me. You know, it isn't anything specific. It's just, you know, just enjoying the environment. And that's what I think music should be about, being free.
You know, tap of a button, I'm able to get in contact with persons all the way across the world. Technology acts as that bridge that keeps me connected.
BTC in one word, I would have to say clutch.
Connected. Family.
Family.
Every day, every day.
Summer is here, and it's the time of year we love getting together with family and friends. And nothing shows your love more than one of KFC's new buckets. KFC's Bucket Love is all about our freshly prepared chicken, delicious sides, and hot buttery biscuits, starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger licking good.
There's nothing as powerful as knowing where you belong. No more waiting. It's time to come home. Come home to friendly smiles. Come home to convenience. Come home to more interest on savings and lower fees. Come home to our bank and your bank. Come home to Bank of the Bahamas, your bank of solutions.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force confirming that they are investigating an incident at one of the government schools here in New Providence where a male child was allegedly beaten by a member of the school's administration team. The Ministry of Education issued a statement on the matter earlier this afternoon, noting that the Ministry of Education's attention has been drawn to an image circulating on social media of what appears to be a child's exposed buttocks with a caption that indicated a presumed beating of the child at one of the ministry's public junior high schools. Education officials have begun an investigation in the matter and will be making a public statement when that investigation concludes. Ministry of Education officials underscore that they will not tolerate in any circumstances the maltreatment, abuse, or neglect of any child or person under its jurisdiction. To the extent that the Ministry of Education becomes aware that any such illegal, unethical, or unacceptable behavior has been or is being committed, it will be addressed with the swiftest repudiation and sanction by the Ministry of Education. 3 Americans were charged in the magistrate's court after failing to declare more than $50,000. 2 brothers, 43-year-old Sid Shah of Chicago, Illinois, and 42-year-old Yumang Shah of Texas, along with 36-year-old Joe Sue Gill of Chicago, Illinois, all pleaded guilty to making a false declaration to an officer of the United States. Police say on Tuesday, shortly after 4 p.m., the trio presented themselves to a U.S. Border Control officer at Lynden Pinley International Airport and failed to declare the true amount of cash in their possession. The officers searched the men and recovered $51,355 in cash. The men appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shibushula Swain, where they were fined $1,000 or 3 months in prison. The money was confiscated and the men are to be deported. Now to news from Labor Tonight. Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, strongly encouraging Bahamians to take advantage of employment opportunities currently available. Minister Fowlkes says a number of Bahamians have been hired for key positions as a result of the recent Labor on the Blocks initiatives here in New Providence and over in Grand Bahama earlier this year. Minister Fowlkes revealed that the department has seen a decrease, though, in the number of applications for labor certificates.
There has been a decline in terms of application for labor certificates. And I think that more and more Bahamians are feeling more optimistic about the job environment. As you know, this is probably the best year we've had in tourism for a very long time. All of the hotels are reporting, if not full occupancy, almost near full occupancy. So in terms of the employment environment in the country, it is very, very positive now. And I would encourage Bahamians to go out and seek jobs. They are out there.
Well, still on labor news, a week after threatening action over the hiring of dozens of foreign workers at Bahamas Power and Light Company, President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Paul Maynard, confirmed to our news team that the union met with BPL's CEO, Whitney Hasty, and other management officials. He revealed that there are as many as 30 foreigners now working at BPL's Clifton Pier plant, which the union vehemently opposes.
We had a meeting yesterday, Christy, myself, and my Secretary General. And the CEO, he apologized for not informing us. And the decision is going to be made. The chairman also got involved in the situation. And the decision is going to be made what they're going to do with this thing, whether they need them or not. And they'll just let them go back. But it's in their court now, and they also put a proposal to me, which the union is considering.
Most schools here in New Providence participated in a National Fire Drill Day today. It's an exercise designed to ensure that those on campus during school hours are safe and know what to do in the case of an emergency. We visited the drill at Columbus Primary on Collins Avenue and Wolf Road. Principal Jacqueline Sands says her priority is the safety of her 656 students and 44 staff members.
This morning, our staff and students were able to evacuate our school in 2.5 minutes. And so if there was an actual emergency, all staff members and students would have evacuated safely away from the emergency and the fire. We ensure that they walked on the lines quickly, no running, so that there will be no bottleneck or anyone trampling in the event there was a fire. And so the teachers executed the job excellently this morning, and so we were able to move under the record time of 3 minutes.
Now, this drill is one of the initiatives that the Safety and Disaster Risk Reduction Unit is responsible for. With campus safety of paramount importance, member Dwayne Higgins says the premise behind the unit is to implement systems that could minimize or eliminate injury or damage to property should an emergency arise.
The intent is for there to be two fire drills, one in the first term, which everyone would do, and basically they would preset a time so that we're able to send observers out and, just check to see what went well, what didn't go so well, and make recommendations accordingly. The next one is a spontaneous visit where an emergency happens. So during the regular course of the day, the expectation is that in the event of an emergency, the system is already in place, and all it is a matter of persons mobilizing to the evacuation areas, that the students and staff and whomever is on the campus, that they're all well taken care of.
Also making national news tonight, cultivating character was the focus of a recent workshop at the Sandals Emerald Bay Resort in Exuma. The initiative was a partnership between several organizations, and educators from Exuma were given tools to help students develop in key areas. Jimanita Swain tells us more.
A chant from educators in Exuma who recently participated in a Character Day workshop held at Sandals Emerald Bay. Character Day facilitator Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell-Dean says Character Day is an initiative that focuses on developing character strengths in young people, simply looking at character in everyday interactions. Key messages impressed on educators were perseverance and kindness.
For example, perseverance, that it's really important to have students that are naturally gifted, but it's even more important for them to realize that even if this might not be your talent, that with work you can get to the place that you want to be, right? That nothing actually just takes one time for us to do it and then we're perfect. That we have to practice things, and that practice is the skill that actually is what you need and is going to make you better.
Character Day is celebrated globally on September 26th. District Superintendent for Exuma and Ragged Island, Pamela Gord, says she tried to involve as many educators as possible in the workshop.
The Bible says that bad company corrupts good character, and it's important for us as educators to understand the depth of good character in the different ways we can help our children understand good character. And so the whole district, basically on the mainland, they're here. All of the primary schools, the special ed school, the one and only high school, it encompasses the whole student. And that's emotional, that's physical, that's academic, and definitely character has a part of that.
These educators are eager to impart what they've learned with their students.
I love the idea and the whole concept of character counts, because we need to make sure that we have persons in our school system that have good character, and also that our students would be able to emulate those same characteristics and become better citizens and productive persons in our community.
Every child will achieve academically, but we can affect the way that they achieve intellectually and emotionally. So with the character teaching that we're receiving right now, we can work on building students' character, making them more appreciative of who they are and what they can be.
Jimanita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Well, now that the new academic year has begun, there are lessons to be learned, and one of the most important lessons is budgeting. How do you budget? What are your priorities? Do your realistic needs far exceed your ability to afford them? Well, live in studio tonight is Khalil Brathwaite of Lano Corporate Services to help plant the seed to better balance your budget. Good evening, Mr. Brathwaite.
Good evening.
First of all, sir, how should parents, especially single mothers, set a budget?
I think the first step is to do a self-assessment of your current spending habits and try to identify your wants and needs and find out where your money is really going first and foremost.
So how does one keep realistic goals?
I think the trick to achieving realistic goals is to make sure that they're reachable. A lot of times we want to do big goals or medium goals, but the path to victory really starts with small goals that feed into medium goals, that feed into bigger goals. So if you want to save an annual amount at the end of the year, start by thinking, what can I save weekly or monthly to get me to that amount?
So, Mr. Brathwaite, what can individuals do then to supplement those needs or those goals?
Well, again, it really starts with the self-assessment and identifying what you need to do in terms of a trade-off. A lot of times we confuse things like price versus value. We overlap things like needs versus wants. So when you do this self-assessment and really drill down, do I actually need this? Is this adding value to my life? Is this contributing to my stability? Would I be better off with a trade-off by saving today and spending tomorrow? So again, it does a self-assessment of your current spending habits and really identifying where you want to go and working towards that.
Now, how can children impact parents when they're budgeting? Do they help in any way?
Well, naturally, children are little sponges. They absorb everything, and they study the patterns and particular habits of their parents. So if they see their parents saving or being mindful of money, that skill would tend to pass on, because the conversation on why, daddy, why, mommy, why are you making this decision? And those kind of conversations shape the mentality and temper the expectation of what money is to a family and what it could be done to advancing that family. So I think children observe by watching patterns and practicing the habits that they observe from their parents.
Now, one more question. What I understand is that a lot of Bahamians really don't budget. Is this true?
Yes, this is true. It's kind of like the no financial plan is a financial plan. So those people who don't budget, well, they're just spending. And that's okay. But the goal to really stabilize your tomorrow is taking actions today. And even though we can have a non-budget budget, as we achieve or come closer to life goals and milestones, having a budget not only empowers us with the knowledge to achieve that goal, but prepares us and tempers down what we need to do to actually work towards that objective.
Great information. That was Khalil Brathwaite. He's the Business Development Manager at Leno Corporate Services. Thanks for joining us on National Report.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Crystal Darling. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has partnered with the company 5 Star Brokers Limited to assist persons who have experienced hurricane damage. NEMA officials are required to coordinate recovery and restoration efforts across the country, and the brokerage company has more than 45 years of experience in the industry. Officials at 5 Star Brokers say they are proud to partner with NEMA. According to the IDB, from the year 2015 to 2017, hurricane damages cost the Bahamas an estimated $678 million. In other business news, the Bahamas International Securities Exchange, BIZX, announced the completion of shares for the open-ended mutual fund, FitPar Dynamic Allocational Professional Fund Limited. Officials at BIZX say they are pleased with the addition of the fund and noted that they had experienced growth in funds listed and in the value of assets under management. And in international business news, Facebook is spending $1 billion to open a new data center in Singapore. The 1.8 million square foot facility will be the billion-dollar company's first Asia branch. Singapore was selected for several reasons, including the city's quality of infrastructure, workforce, and business-friendly environment. This move is also projected to provide hundreds of jobs in the city. Facebook already has data centers across the U.S. and Europe, and it is expected that this will only be the first of a number of centers in the Asia region. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Crystal Darling.
Tourism officials are looking to boost the industry. That's why the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation has partnered with the Bahamas Development Bank to host Tourism Money Never Done, a 2-day workshop to be held September 13th through 14th at British Colonial Hilton, aimed at encouraging budding entrepreneurs in the country's #1 industry.
People are looking for new opportunities. I think we are trying to get a situation where we want more Bahamians to think about working for themselves. Things are very fickle at the moment with people losing their jobs, etc. And all is not lost. They just need an opportunity. They need to test their ideas and to see what's out there and available that they can take advantage of.
Ms. Johnson said this is only the beginning for the workshop, as officials plan to take it throughout the Family Islands.
We are restricted in terms of the numbers. We're only going to take 50 people in this first one, but there'll be opportunities for us to do more. And based on the amount of calls that we've had, and it hasn't even hit the papers yet in terms of advertising, I think it's going to be a great success.
Officials say up to $50,000 is available for participants who impress at the workshop. The cost of registration is $100. For more information, contact the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation at 302-2000. I'm Kendia Smith, and this is Tourism Today.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, and anytime, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
Exhale, exhale. Now you're home. Now you're home. You can have your peace of mind. Oh, it's family time. We pay attention to the smallest details. Safety and security, we deliver luxury. Serenity, welcome home.
Thanks so much for staying with us, especially those of you watching us live on our social media platforms. We want to say hello to our Facebook friends, Patricia Bodie, Natasha Ferguson Grant, Legal Eagle Missick, Lorraine Wellington, and Calvin Johnson. Thanks for watching The Bahamas Tonight. Students from the Pirates Well Primary School and the Abrams Bay High School in Mayaguana returned to the classrooms like all students across the Bahamas this past Monday, but not before getting a little help from the Royal Bahamas Police Force that hosted its third annual Back to School Bash on the weekend. The event was held in conjunction with community partners who provided haircuts for boys, health screenings, and backpacks for students to return to the classrooms. Officer in charge of the Mayaguana Police Station, Assistant Superintendent Marcus Sands, and Principal of Abrams Bay High School, Yoshan Gibson, highlighted the event's significance.
Consistent with Commissioner of Police policy, interaction with young persons, we want the children in Mayaguana to receive the same kind of blessing that is happening throughout the country. Today, we also having a nurse from the public clinic who is doing medical screenings, because we want our children not only to get the school supplies, but we want them to be healthy as they go back to school.
We believe that education is key, and in order for it to be a success, that we must have these kind of collaborative partnerships on the island.
Island Administrator Marlon Leary was pleased with how the event went off, after also reaching out to other organizations to help students in Mayaguana prepare for the new academic year.
I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the Royal Bahamas Police Force and Ministry of Health and local government practitioners and the Mayaguana's brothers and sisters throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and also Bahamas Friendly Group of Companies for the generous donation to this Mayaguana district. And I want to also mention that another person's only do back to school, and that's it. What I want the Bahamas to do and Mayaguana to do, that this is going to be a partnership throughout the whole entire school year. We are here to support them, to support our children, because our children are our future. And you in Kiwanis, we are all about building. We're about building communities, building lives.
Well, there's more to come. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
Whether you're renovating your home, furthering your education, or shopping for a new or used vehicle, RBC offers flexible and convenient financing that fits your budget. Apply online or visit your nearest RBC branch for expert advice on how RBC can help you get a flexible, customized loan at a great rate. RBC, reimagine how you bank.
We've all got plans for our golden years. Unfortunately for many, this may just be wishful thinking. To generate an annual income in retirement of $70,000 for 20 years at a rate of return of 5%, with inflation running at 3%, requires more than $1.1 million. So how do you save that much money? Many companies provide a group pension plan to help their employees by deducting an amount each month from their pay to contribute to the plan. Personal Pension Plan, or PPP, is similar to a group plan, but offered only to individuals. These plans offer many of the same benefits and features. Contact us for more information on pensions.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas. And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
There's a lot to like about Solomon's. The quality of our stores, the quality of our products, and of course, the savings. You'll find thousands of items every time you shop at everyday low prices on a wide variety of trusted brands. So you can save money almost everywhere that you look, giving you one more reason to like us. Shop Solomon's for everyday low prices.
Shell is taking you on an exciting journey with its summer promotion. Now through September 14th. Enter for your chance to win a brand new 2018 Toyota Yaris. Just make a minimum purchase of $20 worth of fuel from any Shell service station in Nassau. Answer the skill question on the entry form and submit. The grand prize will be drawn on September 14th. Other weekly prizes include free fuel vouchers and VIP packages to see Jay-Z and Beyonce live in concert August 31st at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. For more info, visit their Facebook page at Sunoil Bahamas.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
It's time now for a check on the weather in your part of the Bahamas, and Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Now, Basil, the weather here in the Providence has been fluctuating. It was raining earlier this morning, and then it was sunny today, and then it was raining earlier this evening.
And out the ways, we expect that pattern to continue. All the details coming up later in the newscast, so do stay tuned. But right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Violence, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 81 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, also Greentoe, Key, and Abaco. A little cool in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, with some clouds there and some showers at 77 degrees. As we take you into the Berry Islands, temperatures warm up to 82 degrees. Allenstown, Bimini, 82. Harbor Island, 82 as well. More 82s in Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cadet, Stanyu, Key in the Exuma Chain, Kemps Bay, St. Andrews, and Fresh Creek in Central Andrews. Here in the capital, 79 degrees. 82 in San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown. Exuma, more 82s in Clarenstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, and Ragged Island. Matthewtown, Inagua, 83, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights, they're going to be around 2 to 4 feet. Low tide taking place at 11:10 tonight. For the central and southeastern islands, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. And then tomorrow, which is Friday, right into Saturday, the winds will fall off light and variable with very flat sea conditions, 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. Low tide, well, that will take place at 11:18 in the morning, high tide occurring at 5:39 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands through Saturday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your trial forecast. And your trial forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
That man in a boat, passing through. Now what you gonna do? That man in a boat, passing through. Now what don't care if you're the gun or not, passing through. What? Now what you gonna do? Check the wine, passing through. Hey, now what you gonna do? I wine on something, wine up on something, shake up on something, wine up on something. Now dance up on something. Wind up on something. Shake up on something. Wind up on something. Cause it's real. Got that time. Time to join the line. Time to lose your mind. Cause it's homecoming time. And if your car break down, see the jitney coming now. So time to wind around. Cause we got to start it now. The man in a boat passing through.
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 20 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. For some people, asthma is a minor nuisance. For others, it can be a major problem that interferes with daily activities and may lead to a life-threatening asthma attack. Asthma is a condition in which your airways narrow and swell and produce extra mucus. This can make breathing difficult and trigger coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. Asthma symptoms range from minor to severe and vary from person to person. Asthma signs and symptoms include shortness of breath, chest tightness or pain, trouble sleeping caused by shortness of breath, coughing, or wheezing, a whistling or wheezing sound when exhaling. Wheezing is a common sign of asthma in children. Coughing or wheezing attacks that are worsened by a respiratory virus such as the cold or the flu. For some people, asthma symptoms flare up in certain situations, like when exercising or doing physical activity in the workplace where chemicals, gases, or dust can be irritants, and asthma can be triggered by allergies. If you have been diagnosed with asthma or suspect you may have asthma, please see your doctor regularly, and your condition can be monitored and treated. Severe asthma attacks can be life-threatening. Work with your doctor ahead of time to determine what to do when your signs and symptoms worsen and when you need emergency treatment. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Clean clothes for the family, uniforms for the baby, suit for mommy and daddy. We want you to presents to clean the Super. If you wanna look fly and you wanna look clean, if you wanna look fresh, better than all the rest. Bring all your church clothes and all your work clothes. Bring all your children's clothes. That's Super Wash.
Whether it's for school lunch packs or football parties, Super Value and Quality Supermarkets has the specials you need this September, including Kellogg's Corn Flakes 24-ounce box, $3.99. Boneless chicken breast, $2.29 per pound. First Choice Sugar, 4-pound bag, $2.39. Hunt's Ketchup, 35-ounce bottle, $1.99. Cello Carrots, 5-pound size, $2.99. Pick Sweet Corn on the Cob, 8-count, or mixed vegetables, 16-ounce bag, $2.99. No matter the occasion, Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day.
Just in time for back to school, here we are with another exciting announcement. The Ministry of Education calls it a Red Letter Day, a signing between BTC and the Ministry of Education in an initiative that the Minister of Education, Jeff Lloyd, says will not only revolutionize education in the Bahamas, but it will also place the public education system in this country in step with the rest of the world.
We are very happy that the digital revolution in education begins today with this initiative with ourselves and our strategic partner, BTC.
We're upgrading now, if you would say, from a Volkswagen to a Rolls-Royce. And teachers and students are excited to be on the cutting edge of technology. No longer will we have to wait for downloads and uploads, because now we will have the fastest speed that's available to man.
As a testament to this 5-year contract and to stimulate the ministry's e-learning initiatives, Minister Lloyd, BTC is proud to announce that we will also provide 2,500 tablets for teachers, primary school students, and preschoolers.
The rollout of fiber technology in our nation's public schools is both an exciting and ambitious undertaking. But it is a task that BTC officials say they are more than willing to meet. I'm Corbell Pfeiffer, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day.
Life happens. And when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today. Or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Surprise, surprise. Rain once again affecting the New Providence Softball Association's best of 5 first-round playoffs last night. The Johnson Truckers were leading the proper Carepool Sharks 7-2 in the third when the heavens opened, forcing officials to call off play with the game not yet official. Now they're trying to get that Game 2 in tonight. Again, the Sharks up 1-0 in the series. Game 2 between the CNS Hitmen and Chance's Mighty Mitts. That has yet to be played either. That game also scheduled for tonight, with the Mighty Mitts trying to even up the series. With the MPSA having problems last night, the Bangor Softball League, they got their play in yesterday before the inclement weather approached, and the championship series is now set for the weekend.
The Fidelity Bulldogs and the CIBC X-Men, they have elevated to the championship round, and we will be having 2 games on Saturday. One's at 11 and the second is at 1 p.m. And we're actually looking forward to an interesting matchup because in the past years, BAF and Fidelity have always been like the dominating teams who would have made it to the championship. So it's exciting about this paradigm shift that has occurred.
Postseason action getting underway last night on the minor league baseball diamond. Jesrado Chisholm going 1 for 5 with a run scored, helping Visalia to a 5-3 Game 1 win over Stockton in the California League's best of 5 North Division Championship Series. Game 2 there is set for tonight. Chavez Young going 0 for 4 as Lansing lost in 10 innings to Bowling Green 4-3. That was in the Midwest League's best of 3 Eastern Division semifinals. Game 2 there also is tonight, and it's a must-win for Young and Lansing. As for Lucius Fox, he also finished up 0 for 4 last night as Montgomery lost on a walk-off 4-3 to Jackson in Game 1 of the Southern League's best of 5 North Division semifinals. They will try and even things up in Game 2 tonight. A young Bahamian making a name for herself during the AAU Primary Track and Field Nationals at the Wide World of Sports in Orlando, Florida. Competing in the 7 and under division, 5-year-old Brianna Boodle won 3 gold medals and is also the owner of 2 meet records. She claimed the sprint double, taking the 100 meters in 15.24 and the 200 in 31.95. She also came out on top in the long jump, soaring 11 feet, a half an inch. Bahamian Samuel Hunter is about to start his senior year at British Columbia Christian Academy in Canada. Recruitment for the 6'9", 230-pound forward has picked up in recent weeks thanks to performances during the Bahamas Basketball Federation's Summer of Thunder Series. He's getting interest now from Western Kentucky, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Kansas State, Colorado State, St. Mary's, Grand Canyon, South Carolina, and the University of San Francisco. Former NBA player with the Phoenix Suns, Dan Marley, was in town for this year's Summer of Thunder Series. Marley now the coach of the Grand Canyon University, and he was happy to be back in the 2-4-2.
I've been here before. It was a while back when I was playing. It's probably 15, 16 years ago. Stayed at the Atlantis, so I was good. It was good to come back. It was way too long. It won't be another 15 before I come back, I can tell you that much.
Our men's national soccer team in Belize ahead of their Nations League opener tomorrow. Technical Director for the Bahamas Football Association, Gary Markham, says he likes the way the sport is progressing here in the 2-4-2.
The beach has put us back in the place. It's been great. The skills that you use on the beach are really great in developmental levels and can transfer to the grass. And that's our aim, is to be able to understand that we can compete on both beach grass, and hopefully we can get some futsal going later on as well, so our whole nation can start playing football at its own level. And we need to improve. We will get better.
After a new election, Vincent Strawn is back in the president's chair, leading the way for amateur boxing in the Bahamas, and he plans to get straight to work.
We will continue to organize and to build a core of coaches and officials throughout the entire country. That being said, we're planning to take persons to Trinidad and to Guyana to get their feet wet, so to speak, in coaching and officiating.
With the new school year underway, the Ministry of Education already looking ahead to its various national championships, and Sports Officer Evan Wisdom is happy with the fact that Family Island teams are holding their own.
Abaco won the national championship, high school championship, senior girls volleyball. What persons are now realizing is they also have an indoor gym. So if we are able to grow facilities on the islands, I think that our family of islands will do extremely well in events.
While the Senior Girls National High School Volleyball Championship is in Abaco, the Senior Boys title resides right here in the capital, courtesy of the C.I. Gibson Rattlers. Rattlers coach Kevin K.J. Johnson is happy with the way the entire sports program is progressing.
Track been working hard, basketball been working hard, and volleyball, of course, and we just been preparing ourselves for the season. I think we are one of the top schools when it comes to sports in general. You know, of course, when it comes to track and field, we came second under C.R. Walker. C.R. Walker always been dominant in track and field, always been dominant in softball, baseball, you know, soccer and stuff like that. But we've been right there competing and trying to do our best to try give these kids the best opportunity we can.
The North Eleuthera Regatta will be held during the National Heroes Day holiday weekend in October, and the committee has been hard at work from the beginning of the year.
We've been having fundraisers from January, from the new committee was elected. I mean, and there's one or two major events going on now. I mean, and every event was very successful. We're still looking for more sponsors, you know. I mean, we have a lot of Rylanders or Eleutherians that have businesses here in Nassau. Invest in sailing in Harbour Island, North Eleuthera Regatta. I'm telling you, it's an awesome thing. And the reason why I like regattas is because that time of the year, okay, the economy is very sluggish. So it gives the natives a chance to raise funds and to put money in their pockets.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
Introducing the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now and made just for you meals for just $7.50 every day. Take your pick from our best subs, like the Italian BMT, tender turkey breast, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Pile them high with all of your favorite veggies, made just the way you say, with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips. The new Simple 6 menu is value made simple every day. Yeah, you so got it made. Subway, eat fresh.
Looking to upgrade your refrigerator stove or purchase an affordable home generator? We've got the perfect solution for you. Alma's Welding and Fire is the best choice for the lowest prices in town. We carry top-of-the-line outdoor barbecue grills, air conditioners, refrigerators, stoves, generators, industrial hardware, and garden supplies with a wide assortment of tools and accessories. Open Monday through Saturday. Telephone 394-0004. BWF. We're more than just our name.
Robin Hood flour is bigger and better. When you bake with Robin Hood, you're baking with the best. And you get more for your money. Next time you shop at the food store, stop and compare. Robin Hood Flour gives you more for your money. Go with the flour that's bigger and better. Robin Hood Flour. Find it at your favorite food store.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
He served his country with a long record of distinction as a member of the judiciary. Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs will be remembered for upholding the rule of law, for a firm sense of justice, and for his many stellar contributions in the judicial arena. This Friday, a state funeral will be held for Chief Justice Isaacs at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Join the ZNS Network for live coverage beginning at 9 a.m. as the country pays its final tribute to this judicial giant.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance, or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 919 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we get you started in the tropics. Florence now weakened to a Category 1 hurricane, but we expect it to intensify over the next several days. So there will be some fluctuation in intensity over the next several days as it continues on a northwest track, but we expect even a slight shift towards the west over the next couple of days. But generally a westerly flow at about 10 miles per hour. And early next week, the core of that system can move very close to the island of Bermuda as a major hurricane, as a Category 93, packing winds of about 130 miles per hour thereabout. And even though we don't anticipate a direct impact from the system, we do anticipate some very large sea swells to start generating along the north and eastern coast of the more easterly islands of the Bahamas early next week. So that will be a major problem for boaters traversing the waters of the Bahamas next week. And then we have this very strong tropical wave well to the southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. It's also moving toward the west-northwest at about 12 miles per hour. This has a very good chance of developing, about a 90% chance of developing in the short term, and that will continue to move towards the west. So we'll keep our eyes on this system very, very closely. And there's yet another system still on the African coast, has not come off the coast as yet, but our computer models are all indicating that once it gets off the coast, it will have about a 70% chance of developing. So things are really heating up in the far eastern Atlantic. So this is a good time to check and make sure that your seasonal precautions have been taken care of, as things are getting really busy in the tropics. And then on the home front, we have some unstable atmospheric conditions, courtesy of a mid to upper level low, and that will hang around for the balance of this week. So outdoor activity is going to be basically a no-no again, particularly for those softballers, because there will be pockets of showers and thunderstorms, as you can see. Nice circulation taking place there. So the showers will be moving around during the course of the day and night throughout the 700 islands of the Bahamas. So that will be the pattern right into the weekend. Mostly cloudy tonight with showers once again generating during the late night hours. 77 degrees will be a low temperature. And then tomorrow, we're looking at some morning clouds and showers, possibly a thunderstorm as well. Things will ease up a bit in the early afternoon, but by late afternoon, showers will work their way back into our forecast. The high temperature tomorrow, 88 degrees, and your extended weather forecast, we're going to keep the showers in our forecast, as we said, right into Saturday, and then things dry out a little bit on Sunday for you and heading into the early part of next week. Looking good, but those swells that we tell you about could start impacting some of the islands in the northwest Bahamas. So that is what you have weather-wise heading into the weekend.
So 2 more systems may be on the way in our area.
Absolutely. Well, not in our area, but they will be heading in our general direction, and it's a bit too far off to tell whether or not they will impact it, but the thing is to be ready. So we want to make sure that we have all those precautions in place in the event one of those should take aim for us.
So softball is rain out tonight?
Tonight you're going to have some showers again. If they're lucky, they may be, because remember, these showers, they're developing in pockets, so they may not get any there at the field, but somewhere around the island of the Providence, there will be some showers in the forecast.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. On behalf of all of us here in Nassau, as well as over in Freeport, thanks so much for tuning in. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great evening, everyone.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.